Once students have completed their exams and coursework, and all of the assessments have been marked, we decide the grade boundaries. This process is known as awarding. Grade boundaries indicate the minimum mark required to get each grade. For example, a C boundary of 34 would mean you need 34 marks to get a grade C, or a pass grade boundary of 22 would mean you require 22 marks to achieve a pass. Awarding organisations, like Pearson, work hard to set exam papers and coursework tasks with the same level of difficulty each time we set a new paper. But in reality, exam papers and coursework tasks may turn out to be slightly harder or slightly easier than previous assessment because of the different subject matter and different questions that are asked from year to year. It would be unfair for students in a particular year to get a lower grade just because they completed a harder exam, or to get higher grades because their coursework task was easier. So we consistently set new grade boundaries each time we set a new paper. This is why grade boundaries can be different each year for each paper. This system ensures a consistent level playing field. It should be no easier or harder to get a C grade, for example, this year from last year. A team of senior examiners, who are subject experts, oversee the awarding process for each qualification, including someone who is accountable for the entire qualification, such as the chair of examiners, someone who is responsible for different papers, such as the chief examiner, people who are responsible for specific papers or coursework, such as the principal examiner or principal moderator. There are also internal Pearson staff, including awarding officers who work with the experts to review the evidence, which informs where grade boundaries are set, and a responsible officer at each awarding organisation who is ultimately accountable for all final grade boundary decisions. The whole process is monitored by our qualification regulators. There are three main steps in the process. Step 1. The pre-award meeting. Before the pre-award meeting, all marking is completed with rigorous quality checks in place to ensure that each mark has been awarded consistently and all marks are in the system, which provides robust statistical evidence about all the students who sat the exam. Principal examiners and principal moderators tell us where they think the grade boundary should fall. They give us a range of marks and a report to justify their decisions based on feedback from their examiners about student performance on the paper and each individual question within it, question papers from previous years, a review of work produced by students in previous exam sessions, and statistics, which can tell us, for example, the average mark from each exam. All of this evidence is discussed and a decision is made on the range of marks. That will determine what student work will be looked at by the awarding committee. Step 2. The awarding committee. The awarding committee meets to review all available evidence and finalise the recommended boundary marks for each key grade. This will include all of the things mentioned in Step 1, plus looking at student work around the specific grade boundaries. The awarding officer will then document the grade boundary recommendations in the awarding file. This file is passed through 3 internal quality checks to make sure all the evidence had been appropriately considered. Step 3. The awarding sign-off. The standards team check all of the decisions to ensure there is enough evidence to justify the grade boundary recommendations. It is then signed off by Pearson's responsible officer. Once the grade boundaries have been signed off, they are entered into our computer system so that a student's mark can be translated into their final grade. Why go to these lengths? Because grades matter. This process means that a student who performed to the same level should get the same grade, whether they sat the exam this year or last year, and regardless of the exam board they sat it with. If you're interested in finding out more about the awarding process for the different qualifications, then check out the links below.